Okay, welcome everybody. So we're going to have a look at a level 1 PowerPoint here, okay, which forms part of an ICT test. So I've got my guidelines here. Ultimately, this is somewhere where we want to have the PowerPoint ultimately looking like. Okay, so what we've got coming up here is going to be a combination of bringing some pictures in and bringing some research that we have actually done, which are doing prior to this particular exercise. So again, in these papers, what you might find is that you may have to do an internet search and you have to bring some of that information in. Okay. So what we'll do, this is ultimately, we're going to head something like this. Might look a bit different. We need to set up a A4 portrait. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, if you can, stick with PowerPoint because it's a lot easier for designing things and it can be a little bit quicker than trying to do everything in Word. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a new presentation now, which is a blank. Okay. Like so. I'm just going to come down here. First things first, well, let's get our footer in. Here we go, header and footer. I'm just going to actually bring this back in a little bit because we've just gone off the side of the screen here. Let's just bring that back in there, just gone off the side for some reason. Okay. So, actually no, first of all, let's do the design. Slide size, custom slide, A4, portrait. Why? Because it's actually asked for a portrait. There we go, that's better, it's easier to do now what we need to do. Okay. Don't forget we need to do a header and footer, or just going to be footer in this case. Footer, put in your name. Always getting the practice of doing it is apply all. Because again, if you're going to be doing multiple slides, that automatically put the footer in automatically. Same thing also applies if you're actually doing this perhaps as a professional presentation. Never be frightened to put a telephone contact number and an email address in with this as well. Because then if you do have to give printouts of your presentation to people, they've always got your contact details on the slide. So it's a little tip to do. So we're going to apply all. There we go, done. So here we go. So we've got to bring in information from text, news text 1. So they'll give you files that you use to bring information in. Okay. So in this instance, here we go on the side here. I've got that here. So again, as I always suggest, start bringing in the writing first. And again, this is the other good reason for putting in the spare 1 minute. Got to work on the next one. Just need to shut the windows. Bear with me one moment. Okay. So. Sorry, I'm going to get a drill and a saw going through the recording, which I didn't want. So, what I'm just doing now is just lining everything up. Okay, putting the text in. So if we can just get that done. Then that starts giving us an idea where we're going to be going and putting into everything. Now I can automatically see here, perhaps we're going to have to shrink some of this text down. So let's just do that now, okay? Because we can easily rearrange that a bit later, okay? So just going to put that in like so, space so, space so, come down like this, and this is where your format painter comes into hand because you can just use that. Superb. There we go. So, got some basics done. So let's make Barnham Book Club just a little bit bigger. There we go. Stretch it all across like so. Make it into bold. Looks brilliant. Okay. So we've got bring in now 3 pictures. Okay. Logo and 2 suitable images. Right, okay, so we've got Grapes of Wrath mentioned here. Or just got to put the information in before I go any further and jump about Henry V Matthew marrying Catherine Howard. Okay. So as I mentioned, you'll bring information in from potentially something you've already done. So previously this paper, we've done an internet search. It was all about looking at about Catherine Howard, one of Henry VIII's wives, one of the ones that actually did find herself losing her head historically due to what she did. So we're just going to bring that in and just post that in there. Again, always worth having a look at history. Sometimes they do have some interesting topics in here, and Henry VIII is one of the more interesting topics you can research, so why not have a look at that in your spare time? Always good to learn. Okay, so we've done that. So now I'm going to look at the pictures. Okay, let's go and have a look. So bring pictures, insert, pictures, this device. So what we can see is we've got Henry VIII, we've got the lady there. We can assume that's the author. We'll check in a minute. Great rather than the logo. So why don't we have the logo image? Great rather than the lady here, because we always come back and check if it's not suitable. Okay. So on the straight away, we can see that her name is Helen Jones, and Helen Jones is the author of the book here that they're talking about. So let's have that picture in, and we've got Great Zeroth and the logo. So logo, let's put up straight away. We don't really need to resize that too much, but probably just centre that Barnham Book Club a little bit more because it looks a bit better. Okay. Okay. Then what we can do is, and for the moment, I'm just going to put this to full size. It's easier. You can try and make the pictures so they're roughly the same width, because that's going to help you in a moment, as you'll see. Okay. So what I need to do is just shrink this down. And again, look at PowerPoint, it gives you some help. Look at the red lines, so that helps you line everything up. So we can put our pictures in like so, and a picture in there like so. Alright, and again, you just look at the red lines to help you line things up. So we can put this across, we can put this across, bring that down a little bit. Okay, let's just make that a bit bigger and a bit bolder, like thus. And that's what we can do, is we could justify the text. Just do this, makes everything look a bit easier. I mean, again, you can do your own designs on this. And let's follow my design. I mean, so if you want to do something like that, change it around, swap the pictures around, then there's nothing to stop you doing it. You can do that if you want. Okay, it's just the way I've just designed things over the years. I like everything to be lined up as much as possible, because I think that's my way of doing things. Okay. So there we go. Okay, and we can just do our footer down a bit like that. So I mean, so yes, we wanted to, we could actually just make that perhaps experiment just a little bit bigger. Okay, but again, remember, you're just doing this so it fulfills the brief, so to speak. Okay, I haven't quite got everything done there I needed to, so let's just do that. There we go. So what you're doing is making sure you just fill brief. All right, don't try and go too flash. Don't go and try too over the top. Keep the over the top presentations for your workplace. You haven't got time in these tests to go really fancy like you might do at work. Okay, so there we go. Let me just bring that in. There we go. We're lined up a little bit better there now. I'm just going to bring that in a little bit like this. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay. So okay, that's a very rough sort of design. Okay. So just one moment, we have to print this. Okay. So if we have to print it, File, Print. Select your printer, okay, with a bit of luck your printer's already selected if you're in a test situation, and then print all slides. Okay, it might sometimes ask you, oh, I'd like a handout. Obviously this is not the best one to do a handout on because I've only got the one slide, but we've been in presentations, we've had like 2 slides on sheets of paper, and all you would do is then take one of these options down here and it would do it for you. Okay, just see that shrinks that down to 1 slide there. But if I had other slides, they'd be coming on down below. Alright, so keep that in your repertoire, something you used to do, or you can have notes where people can write notes underneath and so on and so forth. Okay, and again, that's something you might actually email through to delegates beforehand, so they've got it there and get them printed for you. Okay, or put it onto their tablets. So there we go. There's an example of a spreadsheet, PowerPoint for you. I hope that you found that useful. Thank you very much.